Okay, guys, and Nick, I addressed this to you because I brought this up the other day. I thought the issue with the Cavs is they were going to have some trouble if this was just LeBron James and some other players. And you said as long as they tread water until about January or whenever they get Isaiah Thomas back, they're going to be fine. You saw this all unfold. You were sitting there last night. Does LeBron James have enough help around him to be able to get to the point where they're okay until Isaiah comes back?
Yes, they'll be okay to get to the point because 8 teams make the playoffs in each conference. The East isn't very good. But the reality is the Cavs right now are a mess. The Cavs right now are LeBron James, who is showing again in year 15. He's the best player in the world by a wide margin. He was an outstanding point guard again last night in his second start at point guard in over a decade. But he was the only player on the Cavs last night who was above average. And LeBron himself had 8 turnovers, and he was showing some frustration with that. If you watched the game, some of the frustration was LeBron, as point guard, was throwing what should have been perfect passes to empty space because guys weren't going where they should go. But the big issue with the Cavs right now is they've given up 17 three-pointers in each of their last 3 games against 3 bad opponents. I mean, they play the Chicago Bulls. They play the Brooklyn Nets, teams that should be competing for the #1 overall pick. Kevin Love has been okay. The second best player on the Cavs this year has either been Jeff Green or Kyle Korver. J.R. Smith, my pal, has been terrible. Derrick Rose hurt. Dwayne Wade didn't play last night. Jose Calderon is no longer an NBA player. The Cavs right now, absent of LeBron, would be the worst team in the league or on the very short list. And so, yeah, they need to play better. There is no question about that.
Since LeBron returned to Cleveland, has there ever been a season where you felt great about them at this point? Not really.
Probably.
It's been a disaster every time.
He called them the worst team in the East, which is like saying that your family isn't amazing. Like, do you understand how big the deal
But
this
I think
is?
I think you hit on something specifically when you talk about their three-point defense. This is one of the older teams in the league. Is it the oldest? It might be
the oldest team
in the NBA. They know what's at stake. They know, which is very little in the East. They know they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're very invested. Defense is about energy and effort, and they know they don't have to put it out there right now. And more specifically, this roster that was out there last night is not the one that you're going to see with Rose out, with D. Wade taking the night off, without Isaiah Thomas. So I don't have that many concerns because we've been here before, and for the past few years, you've looked around the East and said, all right, which team can step up and knock them off? And nobody's able to do it. In large part because LeBron is enough to take any team in the East to the playoffs.
Well, if LeBron is going to carry them on the back this early in the season, he may not be this LeBron when that
so you know what he can do, though? He can take 2 weeks
together.
off like he did a few years ago. They can do that. He has that luxury, which I do think should be considered in its greater overall legacy. And I know, like, you would rattle off the amount of appearances in the finals that he gets there. But it is at a time when it is easier than it's ever been for a team or a player like him who can carry a team straight to the finals. Like, it is a cakewalk for him to get to the playoffs every year, and a lot of times to get to the finals.
Okay, well, I think that's a separate discussion.
Yeah.
Listen, this first trip to the finals, they beat a Pistons team that had been an NBA champion. They ended the Celtics' Big 3 run. The reason the Pacers, they were about to have a run, they didn't get to have one. The Bulls with an MVP, Derrick Rose, they were about to have a run, they didn't get to have one. So I think the ease of the East has been slightly overstated.
It would be more this is his second run with the Cavs.
Correct.
Yeah.
This run with the Cavs, and especially this offseason, where you saw Jimmy Butler go west, Paul George go west, saw a lot of the premier players in the East go west. And now we'll see what the Celtics, if they can create a real contender. But where the Cavs are right now is, it's simple. Like, let me give a number that I think will be jarring to people. I don't know if people know what player efficiency rating is. It's a stat John Hollinger invented. 15.0 is supposed to be your replacement level average NBA player. Anything above 25 is outstanding. Anything above 30 is the best players in league history. LeBron this year has a 32 PER. The only other guy on the Cavs who's above average is Kevin Love, and it's barely. J.R. Smith, who right now is their best shooting guard, has a negative PER, which I'm a stat nerd. I didn't know that was possible. I thought the lowest you could go, I thought was like quarterback rating.
Zero.
He has a negative 0.1 PER. Like, you've got Wade has a 7.6 PER, and he didn't play last night. So LeBron last night goes 29, 10, 13, 4 blocks on 60% shooting. And they're in a dogfight with the Nets. And people I know are going to focus on the fact that with down 2, LeBron missed the front end, the first of 2 free throws, then missed the second one on purpose. Say, the clutch thing with LeBron. But that's nonsense. That's not the story here. The story is, why was it a 2-point game with the Nets this early in the season? And it's because right now it's LeBron and a bunch of other guys. And the person that I put that on, Kevin Love's got to be better. Kevin Love is a max contract, all-star level player. He is now finally getting to be the second best player on a team. He needs to excel in this spot, as opposed to, I think he's shooting 24% from 3, 42% from the field. That's not good enough.
And I think it's interesting because I think LeBron gets frustrated with the guys around him. He wants them to step up and be as invested as he is and as passionate about on the defensive end as he is. But I think Kevin Love is kind of who he is. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where Ty Lue said, should I play him in Toronto? I don't know if he's mentally tough. Basically alluded to that he didn't know if he was tough enough to handle playing on the road, which is crazy to say about one of your star players who was
a 26 and 15 guy.
Which is crazy. I thought, was it game 1 against Boston when he hit the big 3 to kind of that was kind of the game clinching 3? Yeah, I thought that was like, all right, Kevin Love's ready to step up and be that person. And yet you still see this incredibly up and down career that Kevin Love has had in Cleveland.
I wonder if somewhere Kyrie's going, that's interesting. Don't.
No, he's working on his handshakes.
Is that what he's working on?
Listen, Kyrie gets to have an opinion on the Cavs once he's shooting above 40% for the season. That's when Kyrie gets to have. That's when he gets to have an opinion.
Hey, coming up next. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.